Oh boy, AEW has packed enough drama into the past few months to last themselves a bloody lifetime. Tony Khan's bewildered expressions during a now iconic post-all-out press conference told the story of a man struggling to keep a lid on things. His roster could look very different by this time next year. Obviously, wrestlers are tied down to often lengthy contracts that often stop them from just upping sticks and bolting to the competition, but that doesn't mean they won't be dreaming about it. This was all unthinkable, of course, before Vince McMahon's retirement in July. Triple H is a chief that many on AEW's roster respect and want to work for, and that could be causing some serious unrest behind the scenes in Khan's locker room. With that in mind, I'm Adam Wilborn from What Culture, and these are 10 AEW wrestlers already dreaming of WWE. Number 10, Ruby Soho. Turns out the grass wasn't greener. AEW lovers worldwide cheered when Ruby Soho signed on the dotted line with Tony Khan's league in September of 2021. It wouldn't be long, WWE critics said, before Ruby's decision was justified by a proper elite push. Soho is over a year deep into this run, and it's been quite a miserable experience for fans to watch. She's become the nearly woman of AEW's female division. It's almost a running joke that she'll lose crunch matches at this point. There's just nothing about the way Ruby is being used that's truly satisfying, or even slightly better than WWE's booking. It must have crossed the mind of Soho that old pals like Liv Morgan have received singles title reigns this year, and Ruby has a lot of friends on the WWE side, as evidenced by the outpouring of support she received following recent surgery, so she'd slot right back into things without much of a fuss. Number 9, Athena. Apparently, AEW signed Athena so she could do the JOB for Jade Cargill and little else. The one-time Ember Moon stared at the lights for Jade following a shockingly short 4-minute bout at All Out, and then found herself making up the numbers in the interim women's title mix. Like Ruby, she has been struggling. Things looked so promising when Athena was revealed as the latest marquee signing back at Double or Nothing. She was billed as the perfect woman to cut down unbeaten TBS champion Jade Cargill. But then creative got cold feet on all that, and the 4-minute loss kind of just reinforced that. Is this really a step up from anything Moon was doing on NXT before departing WWE? It's been a sideways step more than anything, and it doesn't seem like Athena is going to suddenly rocket up the ranks anytime soon. She's in an awkward spot, and it's a complete waste of her amazing skills. Number 8, Malakai Black. Now, it's important to note that Malakai Black recently debunked rumors that he's set for the All Elite exit door. According to Black, Tony Khan was nice enough to give him time off to sort some personal things out, and he says he'll be back on Dynamite and Rampage soon enough. However, Malakai must have cast an interested eye WWE's way since Vince called it a day. After all, Triple H was the man behind Aleister Black's sensational push on NXT before he hit the main roster and struggled, hiding in a cupboard and asking people for a fight will do that. So there is every chance that the House of Black leader has wondered what WWE under Trips would be like. It's an interesting thought. During his verbal takedown of the rumor mill, damn us, Black also said that he's uninterested in some WWE versus AEW war. He views wrestling strictly as a business, and he only wants to maximize personal satisfaction from his work. Seeing him reborn under Hunter's watch is a fun thought, if nothing else. Number 7, Keith Lee. Bloody Bearcat, honestly. That gimmick was a horrible reminder of Vinnie Mac's out-of-touch booking style towards the end. It never suited Keith Lee and actually stripped away most of the organic connection this fast-moving big man had with wrestling fans. Those who knew him couldn't identify with WWE's idea, and those who didn't were denied his most impressive attributes. Again, like many others on this list, everyone thought AEW would solve the problem by presenting Keith properly. Instead, they decided to stick him in a cobbled-together tag team with fellow WWE alumni Swerve Strickland. More on him soon. And they started banging on about being called Swerve in Our Glory. Lee and Strickland, don't get me wrong, had some excellent matches as tag champs, but let's be honest, this isn't what people expected when Limitless inked a deal. AEW was supposed to be a sanctuary, not another roster for Lee to get lost in the shuffle on. Sadly, that's what has happened to him since his debut in February. Number 6, Swerve Strickland. It remains to be seen if Hit Row's second go-around in WWE will prove to be a winner, but Top Dollar and Ashanti the Adonis have a real shot of becoming key members of the tag team division. Meanwhile, B-Fab can spin off and develop her own skills in the women's ranks. Long story short, the dude on the outside looking in is old stable centerpiece Swerve Strickland. He should be leading Hit Row on SmackDown every week. Sure, Swerve bagged an AEW tag team title run alongside Keith Lee, but that was always going to be short-lived stuff. Now, there are zero guarantees he'll experience standalone success. Could Strickland have a beady eye on what his buddies are doing over on the WWE side? I mean, that would make perfect sense. Swerve might also be wondering what a SmackDown return would be like for him one day in the future. Whatever happens to him, I hope he does well. We met him at Wale Mania and he could not have been nicer. Whose house is it?
Swerve's house.
Number 5, Adam Cole. Boot up Adam Cole's Twitch streams and you'll see someone who is having just the best time playing video games. Memes are already popping up all over the place depicting Cole on his Nintendo Switch as the AEW roster brawls in the background. They are as hilarious as they are accurate right now. Despite such gaming-related nirvana, though, the one-time Undisputed Era leader will surely be visualizing a grand WWE comeback in his head. Cole has been wide open about how much love he has for old mentors Shawn Michaels and Triple H, so he has to be dreaming about bursting back onto the scene under their watchful gaze. Vinnie Mac would have deemed Adam too small, but he wouldn't have that problem with Trips and HBK calling plays. Besides, things have tailed off big time for Cole following an early flurry, so Christ only knows where he fits into Tony Khan's puzzle heading into next year. Number 4, Miro. Miro's angry promos about what exactly God has in store for him are akin to someone shouting into the void with frustration. That's fitting, because the former Rusev has had an altogether unsatisfying time of it in AEW circles since debuting in September 2020. Yes, that is over 2 years ago now. His TNT title run, which lasted between May and September of 2021, is perhaps the only time he ever looked like he belonged in the promotion. Beyond that, he struggled through some of the worst start-stop booking this side of WWE under McMahon. Is this just his fate? No, it really doesn't need to be. Not for someone this talented. If it was possible, a WWE return would be the best thing for Miro right now. Fans would be happy to see Rusev back, and he'd be able to press the reset button on that old Rusev Clash domination. Oh, and Rusev Day needs a reprise at some stage too. Number 3, MJF. My best friend. Tony Khan benched MJF, prick, after cutting his shoot-style promo on the 1st of June edition of AEW Dynamite. Some questioned his future. I obviously knew, but I couldn't say anything because we're best friends. But Friedman returned to win the Casino ladder match at All Out and become #1 contender for the AEW World title, at time of recording at least. It was certainly a newsworthy way to bring him back into the mix. Things have seemingly been hashed out between Khan and MJF, but the question is, for how long? The heel clearly wants to be one of AEW's pressing concerns, and he's never been shy about discussing WWE in the media either. Max knows he is pushing some folks' buttons by doing that, and he doesn't care. A WWE run just seems inevitable someday. MJF has the verbal chops to succeed anywhere he goes, and his critically acclaimed performances have created a monstrous confidence in the man. If Tony doesn't give him what he wants, then Friedman might run down that contract and hitch his wagon elsewhere. The bidding war of 2024. Number 2, Andrade El Idolo. Sammy Guevara recently told Andrade El Idolo to fuck off back to WWE. Such Twitter outbursts are either AEW's way of capitalizing on fan chatter about unrest behind the scenes to feed storylines, or a sign of something a lot more worrying. With those two, it seems like the latter. Something else, though, is at play too. El Idolo has admitted he feels stagnant in AEW. That shouldn't come as a surprise to anybody who watches AEW programming religiously. Andrade signed on as a hot free agent in June of 2021. But what has he done outside of a few excellent matches? Andrade might enjoy being back in the same company as Charlotte Flair as well, so there's probably some frustration there too. Telling the world he wants more is one thing, but actually pinning down All Elite's decision makers and forcing their hand is something else completely. AEW are wasting El Idolo worse than WWE ever did. Number 1, The Elite. Surprise! Or maybe not. Alright, I'll admit this is a bit of a long shot, but just go with me. Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks are all currently serving suspensions following that nasty situation with CM Punk immediately following All Out's presser. The group's members have dropped a few hints here or there about comebacks, but there has been no definitive news on exactly when the Elite will return to TV. Pre-AEW, Omega and the Bucks were linked with WWE deals. Could this be the opportune moment for them to engineer a release from Tony Khan and exploit other options with Triple H? It once seemed implausible, but stranger things have definitely happened. Cody. Imagine the scenes if Kenny and the Bucks managed to get out of their AEW contracts and then jumped to WWE. The entire wrestling world would shake at such news, and the trio may well be tempted after recent events. And that's our list. Did we miss any out? Let us know in the comments section below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And subscribe to What Culture Wrestling, wherever you get your podcasts from, for daily wrestling podcasts. You can let us know your thoughts on Twitter at WhatCultureWWE, and you can find me on there at Adam Wilborn. Thanks for watching. I've been Adam from What Culture, and I'll see you soon.